Listen up. I am Aristotle. I was a student of Plato and a teacher to leaders. I studied logic, ethics, politics, science, and the nature of human purpose. My life's work centered on one essential question. What does it mean to live well? Not merely to survive, not merely to succeed, but to flourish. You live in an age of speed, distraction, and constant stimulation. Yet the principles of a good life have not changed. The answer is not found in extremes. It is found in balance. Every action you take aims at something you consider good. You work for income. You exercise for health. You build relationships for connection. But all these goals ultimately serve one larger aim: happiness. Yet many misunderstand what happiness truly is. Happiness is not momentary pleasure. It is not comfort. It is not indulgence. True happiness is what I called eudaimonia. It is flourishing through excellence of character. It is living in alignment with your highest potential. Virtue lies between extremes. Courage lies between cowardice and recklessness. Confidence lies between insecurity and arrogance. Generosity lies between stinginess and wastefulness. This is what I call the golden mean. In modern American life, extremes are praised. Work endlessly or give up completely. Speak aggressively or remain silent. Spend lavishly or fear every expense. But wisdom seeks balance. Balance builds stability. Stability builds strength. Strength builds freedom. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act. It is a habit. If you want discipline, practice disciplined behavior daily. If you want patience, practice calm responses daily. If you want confidence, practice courageous decisions daily. Small actions repeated over time shape identity. In your culture, many seek transformation overnight. But character is built quietly. A strong life is built the same way a strong body is built, through consistent training. Everything in nature has a function. A knife cuts. A seed grows. A mind reasons. What is your function? As human beings, your unique function is rational thought, combined with moral choice. When you neglect reason, you drift. When you neglect ethics, you damage trust. When you neglect purpose, you feel lost. A life without direction becomes restless. But when you align your daily actions with long-term purpose, peace emerges. Consider a professional pursuing success, long hours, career ambition, financial growth. If driven only by money, burnout follows. But if driven by excellence, by becoming capable, disciplined, and reliable, work becomes meaningful. The difference is internal. Success built on virtue sustains itself. Success built on ego collapses. You must ask yourself, am I chasing appearance, or am I building character? No one flourishes alone. True friendship is not based on convenience or advantage. It is based on mutual virtue and shared growth. In a society where connections are instant but shallow depth is rare. Choose relationships that strengthen your integrity. Choose relationships that challenge your thinking. Choose relationships that support your growth. Community shapes character. Emotions are natural, but they must be guided by reason. Anger may arise, fear may appear, desire may tempt, but the disciplined mind pauses before acting. Self-control is not suppression. It is intelligent direction of emotion. Mental strength is calm, deliberate, and steady. Happiness is not found, it is built. Not through shortcuts, not through extremes, but through daily habits aligned with virtue. Seek balance, practice discipline, build character. For a good life is not an accident. It is a masterpiece, shaped by your choices. I am Aristotle. And your happiness is in your hands. Real happiness is what I called eudaimonia. Say it. Eudaimonia. It means flourishing. It means living in alignment with your highest potential. It means becoming so fully yourself that your life becomes a kind of art. It is not about what you feel. It is about what you become. And what you become is entirely up to you. Here is something I taught centuries ago that still lands like a punch. Virtue lives in the middle. Courage is not the absence of fear. That is stupidity. Courage is feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. But it is also not running headlong into every danger. That is recklessness. Courage lives between cowardice and recklessness. Confidence is not believing you are better than everyone else. That is arrogance. Confidence is knowing your worth without needing to prove it. It lives between insecurity and arrogance. Generosity is not giving away everything you own. That is wastefulness. But it is also not clutching your resources so tightly your knuckles turn white. That is stinginess. Generosity lives between stinginess and wastefulness. I call this the golden mean. And I need you to look around. Your culture loves extremes. It worships them. Grind until you collapse or quit entirely. Speak so loudly no one can interrupt, or stay silent and invisible. Spend money you do not have to impress people you do not even like, or obsess over every penny until you cannot enjoy anything at all. Go, go, go. Stop, stop, stop. Feast or famine. All or nothing. That is not strength. That is imbalance. And imbalance always breaks something. Wisdom is the middle, not the lazy middles. Not the middle of indecision, the middle of integration. Balance gives you stability. Stability gives you strength. Strength gives you freedom. Real freedom. Not the freedom to do anything. The freedom to be steady, no matter what happens around you. Listen close. This matters more than anything else I will tell you today. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not one heroic act. It is not one moment where you rise to the occasion and then go back to being average. Excellence is a habit. If you want to be disciplined, you do not wake up one day disciplined. You practice small discipline choices every single day. You make your bed. You show up on time. You do the work nobody sees. If you want to be patient, you do not suddenly become patient. You practice calm responses when everything in you wants to react. You breathe before you speak. You listen before you judge. You pause before you decide. Small actions, repeated over time, they shape your identity. They shape who you are at the core. And here is the beauty of it. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Everyone wants the transformation overnight. Everyone wants the 6-week challenge. Everyone wants the secret hack that rewires their brain while they sleep. That is not how character works. You build a strong life the same way you build a strong body. Consistent training. No shortcuts. No cheat codes. Just showing up and again and again and again. Until one day you realize you are not the same person you used to be. Everything in nature has a function. A knife cuts. A seed grows. A bird flies. A fish swims. A mind thinks. What is your function? You are not here by accident. You are not a random collection of atoms drifting toward entropy. You are a human being. And your unique function is simple. Rational thought combined with moral choice. Use your mind. Make good decisions. That is it. That is your purpose. Again. When you neglect reason, you drift. You become a passenger in your own life. You let algorithms decide what you care about. You let headlines shape your emotions. You let other people define what success looks like. You stop thinking for yourself and suddenly you are living someone else's life. When you neglect ethics, you break trust. You cut corners. You justify small dishonesties. You tell yourself everyone does it, and slowly you become someone you do not recognize, someone who cannot look in the mirror without flinching. When you neglect purpose, you feel lost. You have everything and nothing. You are successful on paper and empty in your chest. You wonder if this is all there is. But when you align your daily actions with long-term purpose, something shifts. Peace emerges. Not the peace of solving every problem, the peace of knowing you are on the right path. Even if the path is hard. Even if the path is slow. Even if no one claps for you. Picture someone climbing the corporate ladder. You know this person. Maybe you are this person. Long hours. Big ambitions. Growing bank account. Promotions. Recognition. External validation. If it is just about money, burnout is guaranteed. If it is just about status, you will always need more. You will never arrive. You will never feel done. But if it is about excellence, everything changes. If it is about becoming capable and competent, if it is about being someone others can rely on, if it is about doing work that matters regardless of who notices, work becomes meaningful. Success built on real character sustains itself. Success built on ego collapses the first time things get difficult. So ask yourself, and be honest, Am I performing for approval, or am I actually building something real? Am I chasing an image, or am I becoming someone of substance? When the applause fades, what is left? You cannot do this alone. I do not care how independent you think you are. No one flourishes in isolation. No one. Real friendship is not about what you can get from someone. It is not networking. It is not transactional. It is not I follow you so you follow me. Real friendship is mutual growth. It is shared virtue. It is two people who see each other clearly and choose to become better together. You live in a time where you can have 1,000 followers and 0 real connections. You can be surrounded by people and completely alone. Depth is rare. Vulnerability is avoided. Everyone is performing. Everyone is curating. Everyone is terrified of being seen as they actually are. Choose different. Choose people who make you better. People who challenge your thinking instead of just agreeing with everything you say. People who tell you the truth even when it hurts. People who hold you accountable and expect the same from you. Your community shapes who you become. Choose it carefully. Emotions are not the enemy. I need you to hear this. Your anger is not the enemy. Your fear is not the enemy. Your desire is not the enemy. They are signals. They are information. They tell you what matters to you. But they need a leader. That leader is reason. Anger shows up. Someone disrespects you. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Someone dismisses your work. Anger rises. Fine. Feel it. But do not let it drive. The disciplined mind pauses. It asks questions. Is this useful? Is this true? Is this who I want to be right now? What will I think about this decision tomorrow? Fear creeps in. You are afraid of failure. You are afraid of rejection. You are afraid of not being enough. Fear rises. Fine. Acknowledge it. But do not let it stop you. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is fear walking and is fear. Desire pulls at you. You want the thing you cannot have. You want the validation. You want the escape. Desire rises. Fine. Notice it. But do not let it rule you. Self-control is not repression. It is not pretending you want nothing. It is intelligent direction of your energy toward what actually matters. Mental strength is not loud. It does not scream or posture or dominate. Mental strength is calm, deliberate, steady. It is the eye of the storm. It is the person who remains centered when everyone else is panicking. That is what you are building. Here is the bottom line, and I need you to really hear this, because it is the difference between a life of quiet desperation and a life of genuine flourishing. Happiness is not something you find. It is not buried treasure waiting for you to stumble upon it. It is not a destination you arrive at after enough suffering or enough success or enough luck. Happiness is something you build with your own hands, with your own choices, with your own daily habits. Not through extremes. Extremes burn out. Not through shortcuts. Shortcuts collapse. Not through waiting. Waiting steals your life. Through balance. Through discipline. Through character. Through small, consistent actions aligned with virtue. Day after day after day. A good life is not an accident. It does not happen to you. You do not wake up one morning and discover you accidentally lived well for 40 years. A good life is a masterpiece. And you are the one holding the brush for them. Every choice is a stroke. Every habit is a layer. Every relationship is a texture. You are painting your life in real time whether you realize it or not. The question is whether you are painting deliberately or just splattering paint on the canvas and hoping something beautiful emerges. I am Aristotle. I lived over 2,000 years ago. I watched empires rise and fall. I taught kings and walked with philosophers. And I am telling you this. Your happiness is in your hands, not your circumstances, not your bank account, not your followers, not your achievements. Your hands. Now what are you going to do with it?